Hello,
Hi.
Pamela.
Hey,
Hi.
everyone. Hi, Thomas and Nicole. Congratulations.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, I love the show, guys. It's
Oh,
great.
that's terrific news.
Thank you. Yeah, we're used to, I think, as TV viewers, this procedural investigation, detectives, and I feel like Troppo uh, takes a grittier twist on that, adds the darkness, and also like us in the US, we're not so privy to Australian culture and Queensland and all of that. So congratulations, Thomas. I know that you are executive producer also on this. So I'm curious for both of you, Thomas, what attracted you to the role of Ted,
Right.
and Nicole, same for you with Amanda. They have dark pasts they cannot shake. So I'd like Thomas first.
Well, it's interesting because Courtney Penn, my partner, and I created Renegade, our production company, in 2019, which was kind of prophetic because it was sort of right before the world fell apart. And we're saying, okay, well, what's this company about? And if I had to describe it in 3 words, I would say trial by fire. Trial by fire, and that is even reflected in our logo, which is a horse made of fire. And so our mission statement is, what happens when you are made of the thing that you fear the most? Because horses are terrified of fire. And so, and then right away, Troppo, Crimson Lake is the novel, dropped on our desk, and we're looking at a character, and I'm like, who is Ted? He's a detective. So what does he love to do? Seek the truth. He's a truth seeker. He's any detective who's worth their salt has a passionate desire to seek the truth. And that is exactly what got Ted into so much trouble and blew up his whole life.
Right.
The simple fact that he was seeking the truth, which is what he loves to do and he's passionate about, destroyed his life, destroyed his job, destroyed his marriage. So he flees and takes off to the northernmost part of Australia, where that's where we get our title from. People literally go crazy from the tropical heat. Troppo.
Right. Right. I learned the definition of Troppo by reading some definition. I said, okay, so this is like sort of a slang thing in Australia. You go mad from the heat. Obviously, Nicole, you know about this. So, and for your character, Amanda, who goes sort of nuts, and she has a wild past, murderous past. So tell me also, what attracted you to this role?
The most broken characters are the most interesting to play and explore. I think anytime you get to explore parts of what is dark and parts of yourself that is quite scary and dangerous to explore in your own life, I think is really fun and liberating to do on camera. And so, yeah, she's unlike any character I've ever had an opportunity to play. And yeah, it was, I mean, she goes through so much at such a young age, and it was interesting to me to explore what that does and how that shapes you as an adult. And then to do it in a place like Far North Queensland, that is just, it's a character in itself, and how that affects you, the heat, the way it makes you just, you're on edge all the time because it's so hot. So you're agitated and aggravated. And so there is an energy of like, don't mess with me. The triggers are really short, I think, with people.
Right, and you've got no car because you won't ride in when there's AC in there.
Correct. Interesting choice for Amanda. I mean, the hair is good because there's no humidity. I don't have to worry about the humidity with the curls.
That's well said, and it speaks to the characters that Candice Fox created with her novel. And any fans of mystery have to read Candice Fox. She's so good at creating characters, and she did it not once, but twice. With the character of Amanda and then Ted, they're so different. They're both so broken. It's really the only thing they have in common is that both of their lives were completely shattered, and they're trying to pick up the pieces. But other than that, they are like night and day, and they're so interesting in their own right. And that is a hell of an achievement by Candice Fox. She created.
Absolutely. I'm curious for you guys as actors, right? We talk about mental health a lot these days, right? We're taking the stigma away from that. As actors, walking off set, walking away from Ted and Amanda's past, how do you shake that off, or do you not?
Good question.
Yeah, it's interesting. It took me a moment. Like it was important for me to isolate myself during this shoot and to like really feel that sense of like being alone and lonely. And I hired a car and I took myself to Byron Bay and I just sat on the beach for like 2 months. And it took me a while to shake her off because I you feel a responsibility for her, and where we leave her is very interesting. And it was it took a minute. It took a minute.
And for you, Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, I think that any good mystery is not just about solving the murder that you're working on. And we have a few murders. We have a lot of mystery in our show. But for me, the mysteries that stick with me are really about the mystery of your own human heart, right? It's how do we the secrets that we hide from ourselves. And Nicole's right. To do our job, we have to go to those dark and uncomfortable places. And how you shake that off is, I suppose, different for everybody. Ted's a heavy drinker in the show, and so I kind of got into that a little bit. But I was really relieved when I could finally let Ted go.
Yeah,
it's not a comfortable place, and sometimes you have to put yourself into those places in order to do your job if you're any good at it.
Well, you're both great at it. I have one more question. Obviously, this show is going to Amazon Freevee, and you've seen the evolution, both of you working in the industry of TV. So with so many streaming platforms, where do you see the future of TV? Is this it?
Well, we're just grateful that we have you to talk to. I think the biggest surprise for me was that I've launched a couple of really successful shows, and in the old days, you really had to get behind it. You had to have HBO and Netflix get behind a show and promote it, and I have found, wow, is that a symptom of that there's so much content now that we just kind of throw stuff in the ocean, like a little bottle in the ocean, and see where it drifts off to? So we're happy to be, talking to you and getting the word out a little bit. I think that's a big challenge, getting the word out. And there's a lot of great shows out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, Troppo is one of them. And congratulations again. Thank you for giving us something new and fresh. And both of you are so talented and you have great chemistry together. So
that's nice to hear.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And your hair looks great, Nicole.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Thank you.